Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Quad City sports fans of all ages, Town Square Media is proud to present to you the best Quad City sports talk radio show in the world. With the face who runs the place, T-Roy, the OG on the marquee, Jaybird, and the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City sports talk radio show. We're not the Quad City sports talk radio show. We are your Quad City sports talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn.
And bow, bow, bow. Just like that, we're back. It's Tuesday here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Dunright Satellite and Dish. T-Roy's in the house, and this is Don't Hassle Us Local. I got my little bomber next to me.
Hi, guys.
Jaybird and Hazel.
Hazel's in the house.
Oh, you want earmuffs?
Oh, here.
You need to get her some earmuffs.
Here's some earmuffs.
Thank you for tuning in to ESPN 1170 AM. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. You can listen to us on your smartphone. You can download the app 1170 AM. Go to ESPN 1170 AM wherever you download things. You can listen to us on ESPN1170am.com. Click the upper right-hand corner, listen now, and you can obviously listen on the radio dial. Get that away from me. And then also Facebook Live, you can listen to us, and leave comments on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. T-Roy's back.
Can you turn that volume down a little bit, Bird?
Which one here?
Yeah, the one that goes to the
headphones?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. So, T-Roy's back, and he's got the little one with him.
Yeah, we're lucky. We're lucky, Quad Cities.
Oh, no.
La la.
Yeah. Hi, Hazel. There you go. Say hi to everybody, Hazel. There you go. Good job.
Said hi to the entire world.
And then, hey, Hazel, you know those will plug into your little thing right there? Yeah, you can listen to it right there.
Watch this.
Whoa.
Wow, is right.
T-Roy, you were gone yesterday. We got a lot going on. We talked to Coach A.C. Earl yesterday. It was interesting to talk with him.
Yeah, you and I talked kind of before the show, and you told me what Coach had to say, and I really said I missed it because I value his opinion, and I really wanted to see what he had to say, and you told me what he did, and it makes a lot of sense.
Well, yesterday I thought, and what I told you off the show, I thought he took a different route of talking about dealing with when I said, hey, have you ever heard are you surprised about the comments out of the University of Iowa? And it wasn't a University of Iowa thing that he said. His thing was just like, no, I'm not surprised. And he went and talked about being when he was a counselor or a coach at a basketball camp at a university. Mm-hmm. And he just brought up how the coaches there asked him to talk to the actual university players about using the N-word, and he said, I've also come across this with talking to female players about using the B-word. Mm-hmm. And his situation, instead of like, no, I'm not surprised because coaches talk like this all the time, and they're talking down to people or whatnot, or they're, insulting them. His thing was that he took a different route, that the players were using the word too much, that almost the coaches became desensitized, and that they thought it was okay to use the word when it's not okay to use the word.
Right.
Do you know what? So it was a really different outlook when I thought the direction he was going. He went a completely different one, which is that got us into an entire different conversation about desensitizing. And if the word is used more and more in either, in our culture or language amongst other people, maybe we become desensitized about how bad the word is.
Absolutely.
And it's the same thing almost that we talked about the George Floyd video. Like, the more we see it, the more we become desensitized to it. Like, it's more of a thing of like, maybe we shouldn't be showing it so much. I mean, 8 minutes and 46 seconds is a long time.
That's a very long time.
So, but it was great talking to him. I'm really, really super excited about our guest at 1 o'clock today.
1 o'clock?
Yes. We're going to have Morris Jones Jr. on.
Morris Jones Jr.
Yes.
Explain who that is to me.
Morris Jones Jr. is from Davenport originally. And he had moved, he lives in Nashville now. He moved down to Memphis right before high school. He would have gone to Central. You got it? Yeah. So
So anyway, listen, he is now trying out to be a pro golfer. He was just on the ABC show Holy Moly a couple weeks ago. He was on episode 3.
Okay.
Although he lives in Tennessee and he has since probably about 14, he still calls Davenport home. So I got a hold of him through social media. I talked to him earlier today. We're going to actually pipe him in on our Facebook Live Zoom. It'll be the first time we've done that because of the capabilities. The guy's awesome. It's fun to talk to. He's got a great story. I think you're going to love him.
All right, I'm excited.
So, yeah.
I'm very excited.
That being said, we've got other things going on in sports. One of the crazy things that is going on is
one of the
the CrossFit world.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. CrossFit is in a little I don't know how to put it. CrossFit affiliated gyms and athletes have now either abandoned CrossFit or denounced comments, tweets made by the company founder and CEO Greg Glassman about the death of George Floyd. Basically, he compared this to just a maybe a media frenzy type of thing, and one of his responses to it, instead of saying COVID-19, was Floyd-19. And he's saying that, yes, he's downplaying it. Reebok has said it will end the relationship with CrossFit when its contract is up at the end of the year, and another major sponsor, Rogue Fitness, is considering doing the same. Multiple gyms across the country have removed CrossFit from their names, which also means they'll stop paying the company affiliate fees.
So that comment, okay, did I hear it right? Was that pretty offensive?
It was. I'm going to pull it up for you more here.
Okay.
Just because I want to be completely and utterly sure about everything that's on here. But this is in the USA Today, and
yikes! That's a big deal.
Yikes is right, and it's a big deal around here.
Yeah, there's a lot of CrossFitters around these parts.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. In response to a tweet Saturday that described racism and discrimination as critical public health issues, Glassman wrote, "It's Floyd-19," invoking the killing of a black man in police custody while apparently attempting to make light of the COVID-19 pandemic. The 63-year-old also dismissed concerns from affiliated gym owners about the organization's silence on Floyd. Because he didn't, obviously there's a lot of people that are coming out making statements, and he didn't say anything. So some of the affiliated gyms are like, hey, you going to come out and say anything? And he didn't. When this is on usatoday.com, so I want to cite my sources. When contacted by Rocket Community Fitness owner Alyssa Royce, whose Seattle gym had previously been known as Rocket CrossFit, Glassman replied in a profane email that her point of view was wrong to the point of being evil, according to a screenshot of the message posted on the company's website. And I'm pulling up the screenshot right now.
Jeez.
Yeah. Now I understand. I obviously that's a. Eventually, you have to. Ties will be broken because of it. Let's see.
I switched. Am I getting sound through?
So again, this is on rocketcrossfit.com. She shared a screenshot of her concern over it, and then this is what his response to her was. Alyssa, I sincerely believe the quarantine has adversely impacted your mental health. I won't speak for Jeff Kane, but I can tell you that you are delusional in thinking that anyone, even for a second, thought that you were the conscience of CrossFit. The very notion is cringeworthy. You think you're more virtuous than we are? It's disgusting. Your self-professed brand, wizardry, has been tolerated but never seen as actual thoughtful or effective, but certainly manipulative. You're doing your best to brand us as racist, and you know that is BS. That makes you a really S person. Mm-hmm. Do you understand that? You've let your politics wrap you into something that strikes me as wrong to the point of being evil. I am ashamed of you, Greg.
I like that response. What do you think?
You like the response?
I like that response.
Why?
Because I don't think that she had the right to speak for CrossFit as a whole.
I think it was a thing that she was upset that the company that she has supported for so long paid affiliate fees was silent during this.
Okay.
It's okay to make a statement. I mean...
But why is silence bad all the time? Sometimes people just don't...
Well, let me get this straight, because obviously I was dealing with...
Yeah.
Obviously I was dealing with Hazy, but... So CrossFit said nothing, and she's upset because they said nothing?
Yeah, but it's also that he made light of the situation, calling it Floyd-19 instead of COVID-19, saying that it's making light of the global pandemic and making light of that maybe it's more of a media situation than it is anything else.
I don't disagree with that wholeheartedly.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, you're the CEO of a major brand, though. I just think maybe one of those things. Like, I mean, look at what Drew Brees said.
He was definitely being insensitive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look what
Maybe you
Drew
don't
Brees
say
said.
anything at all.
Yeah, you don't have to say it's fine.
That's
Yeah,
the
but-
only. What is the old term? If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
Yeah, but what does Rush say? If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice.
Yeah, and those who stay silent in times of controversy or take the side of the oppressor. That's another one.
Well, I don't believe that.
And then Robert, we want to keep doing this. And Robert F. Kennedy, if not me, then who? If not now, then when? Like
I'm not a quote.
No,
so
yeah.
this has been a really
I
fun
don't
game
know.
show.
Listen, I mean, I think we all
No,
watched.
I think and we laughed because we're not insensitive to it. The thing is this, that it's going to make a change, obviously, and you're going to see some things. Some people are going to disassociate themselves. More than also in USA Today, gym owner C.J. Martin said people are disassociating from the brand, but they're not disassociating from the workout style. The sport is going to change. It's going to take on a different name. What that is, I don't think anybody knows yet. I don't know either. I don't know.
It's going to be called CrossFit. Come on.
Well, it's going to, and it's still going to be called CrossFit, kind of like we call a tissue Kleenex.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not going to go, but it might have. I don't know. I don't know the temperature of this, how high it is. So I think this is something that maybe a nice apology will have to do. But I'm pretty sure that there's gyms all over the Quad Cities, CrossFit gyms that have maybe made a statement. I haven't dug deep enough into this, nor do I really care to. To be honest with you, I think everyone kind of knows my stance on CrossFit. If I want a piggyback ride, I'll get a hold of one of you. You, Hazel, exactly. So the CrossFitters. So yeah. So see, thanks for chiming in there, right? Just like that. It's
Perfect timing.
You didn't think she was going to be part of the program.
If I want to be stared at oddly in a parking lot while someone's jogging, wondering why a car's in a parking lot driving, then I'll get a hold of you guys. So that's about it. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of gyms that are dropping that. So,
Well,
that's some of the things that have been going on. Really, the only thing we got coming up was we have the golf coming up, where you have our first live golf event. There'll be no fans there coming up this weekend. Obviously, NASCAR's still going. That's good. We're on the brink of trying to figure out what's going on in the NBA. The University of Iowa yesterday, and Kakert's going to be in tomorrow. He couldn't come in today. He's doing a podcast with our friend Dazzo. I can only imagine what happened. I assume Ferentz had his meeting with the team and said, and this is not normal for Ferentz, by the way, said, hey, if you feel like you need to make a statement, you want to write something down, you put down whatever you want. Our media team will make sure it's, can be released. It's not vulgar in any way. Mm-hmm. And you can express your feelings. And plenty of players did.
okay.
And it's not a bad thing that they did. Some of them, it went as far as to be like, if you don't understand why, there's a protest, don't be a fan of us. Don't ask us for autographs. Don't ask us for photos. Don't come to the games. And I can look it up, and I'm sure someone on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread can say who said that. And there's others that, you have a friend of the show who's been on it, Dallas Jacobus. He said, we're all brothers in this, and although I've never, I've always been white, and I can't imagine going on through there, I will stand by everything that's going on. And they all released their statements, and you can go and look it up on Facebook, and I think it's a good thing to get the conversation going.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I just
Like
wish
I said,
that
I still don't know everything that and where it started. I'm not sure where the stuff started with Coach Doyle. I don't know who brought it up first, and it doesn't matter, I guess. But I still haven't dug far enough into it. I found out late on Sunday about it, and really was spending more time enjoying cocktails than wanting to dig into my favorite team.
Yeah.
And them being having this kind of controversy. Like I said to Jay off air, if from what I have heard, if Coach Ferentz has turned a blind eye to anything and it's proven, I can't sit here as a person that's destroyed Penn State or Michigan State and say that he's without being the whatever he he deserves what he gets if he's done this. You know what I'm saying? And if Coach Doyle has been this monster, then that sucks for someone that we held in high regard. And and it really, like I said, am I still proud of the kids that are playing on the team and whatever else? Yes. But yeah, it tarnishes my fanhood. How about that? And it has nothing to say,
You're disappointed.
Very much so,
right?
Because I would hope that Iowa athletics in the state that I live in, whether it's 91% white or not, is better than it. I think the state I grew up in is better than this. How about that? And that goes all the way up to the football team and the coaches that are on it. We're better than that as a state. And
we're better than that as a species in general.
Yes, but I'm just
and
I totally agree with you. You're right. Yeah. So if, those things, like I said, the truth will come out, and from what I've seen, I think Coach is handling it very well so far. But like I said, let's see what's the truth, what's not the truth, what has been ignored. Time will tell, Jay. And like I said, I'm not giving anybody a free pass.
Right.
As of right now. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and defend anyone. I want the truth to come out, and I want to hear what everybody has to say.
Right on. I agree with that. And I also think that censorship shouldn't be a part of any of it. Everybody should be able to, I say, let people say what they want to say, and then the consequences will follow. Well,
I get why Iowa's had a no social media policy in the past, because as young people, sometimes you will still make mistakes that show your maturity.
Sure.
And social media is unforgiving in that way.
Absolutely.
And
it
never goes away. Jay, we've seen athletes that got stuff brought out about them when they were things they said when they were 14 years old and things like that. So it just never dies, whether it was Carson King or that situation. Okay. That being said, now in a situation like this, no, he's saying, hey guys, say what you got to say, get it out there, let it be known. And I think he wasn't trying to keep voices quiet from before. I think it was more of a trying to protect the player from themselves.
Sure. Well, it can be interpreted anyway.
I would not. I think the thing that it would be the thing that surprises me the most is that, and we kind of talked about it yesterday, AC in Bomber and I, about when it's in your backyard, you kind of like more like, hey man, I wouldn't expect this type of thing at Iowa, but that's okay. I'm not saying that they're above it. I think the worry that I have is that the way it blew up now with DJK's statements and the almost civil war you have with Iowa players and Iowa fans. I mean, there are some people that are just like, hey, he waited 10 years for these statements. And we'll get more into the statements after the break. But it's people are saying, like, check the source or anything like that. I know University of Iowa hasn't made any comments about it since. But, I'm
curious to see all of them.
Well, let's take a break. Come back and let's look at the comments made by DJK. All right, and I'm not saying that this is 100% correct. I'm not saying that what he's saying is true. These are allegations, and they're strong, and it's enough that we need to listen. I do not. Again, first things first, I want you to always remember this. Without social media, this show wouldn't be where it is. And for every time that we're like, oh, like the people that are attacking Rob Howe from Hawkeye Nation for just posting the story is absolutely wrong, saying he did it for clicks. DJ came out and wrote this, and he gave it to, and Rob just shared it. So if I sit there and say, like, social media, it's bad, we do this, that. The guy we're going to talk to at 1 o'clock, it completely is because of social media. All right, not some of it has to go to our friend Ezer A's, who saw him on Holy Moly and said this guy should be on. After that, I got a hold of him through social media, and this guy's a gem. So, again,
Cool.
All these things that I'm like, hey, this is bad how we can just say things and try to downplay what DJK said without just reading it. And is something we shouldn't do. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to take a look at the comments by DJK, because like you said, T-Roy, if some of these are true and swept under the rug, we have to figure out what's going on.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll be right back.
Tim Hernandez wants you to focus on new and fun ways to get fit for yourself and your family. ID Life wants you to be healthier, have more energy, get better sleep, and achieve more focus. ID Life is a health and wellness company that is revolutionizing the industry with customized nutrition. The ID Life name stands for Individually Designed Life, was founded on the principle that no two people are alike. So everyone has unique nutritional needs. Tim Hernandez is your guy in the Quad Cities to offer you personalized guidance that is tailored specifically to your health factors and personal goals. Do you have health problems that may be holding you back? The doctors and scientists develop what nutrients you should be taking and what supplements will benefit you the most. Go to qchealth.idlife.com to sign up for an unconditional, no questions asked, 30-day money-back guarantee. Call Tim Hernandez today at 563-508-7221 so he can show you that what makes ID Life different is you.
You like that? You like that? Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
This is Rachel Alger with St. Ambrose University, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
We will get our momentum back. Our business is back, our smiles back, ourselves back. Because that's what this community does. At First Midwest Bank, we want to thank our colleagues for doing everything they can to help our clients and our communities get through this. Because we are all in this together. And together, we will get our momentum back. First Midwest Bank. Visit firstmidwest.com. Member FDIC.
See. Very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Did you see what they just did to Colin Cowherd?
No.
They played a video from a month ago of him saying flatly the Packers should draft a quarterback in the first round to sit behind Aaron Rodgers, that it's the right thing to do, it's the only thing to do. And then they played a video a month later of him saying the Packers are stupid if they draft a quarterback in the first round.
That's sports radio, Dano.
That's sports radio the way that you do it, Stugatz. When you see them back to back, the video of him talking, and it's a month apart, and in one he's saying it's the right thing to do, and in the next one he's saying it would be stupid if they do it. You're stealing money.
It's what makes my character so great because no one holds me to anything. I mean, I'm expected to do that. Thank you, Dan.
That's right. You are expected to do that. Thank me later in that big house by putting the dog in another room, please.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Car old? Need it sold? Get rid of that old car and do a good deed at the same time. It's the Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction coming soon to Coal Valley. That's right, it's back. Donate your car, truck, SUV, or motorcycle, and if you live within 40 miles of Coal Valley, they will even pick it up, even if it doesn't run. All donations are tax deductible. Call 309-799-7044 or visit them online at arrowheadyouth.org. Car old? Need it sold? Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction. Stay tuned for an auction date in Coal Valley.
Golick and Wingo.
To me, I think the thing that really sealed it, I'm just thinking of it from a player standpoint, and Michael Jordan even said that, we deserve the respect or the chance to carry this thing on. And it's not like coming to the end of that season, you start to see outside of Jordan, some of these other players are older. They are dealing with injuries. You don't know how long this run could go. But it was at the beginning of the season where Jerry Krause said, you can go F at 82-0 and it doesn't matter.
Correct.
You're gone. I mean, before that season even started, he ended the dynasty before their sixth championship. I think that, and I think rightfully so, would rub a lot of players, especially the GOAT, the wrong way.
Well, he tried to end it after the fifth championship.
Yeah.
I mean, it took Jerry Reinsdorf basically going back to Phil Jackson, what will it take to get this back for one last time? I mean, Jerry Krause was good to end it at 5.
Yeah, he was.
He didn't even want to try for 6.
Golick and Wingo, mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
River Valley Turf is your family-owned and operated John Deere dealer, specializing in both lawn and garden and commercial equipment. From walk-behind mowers and lawn tractors to utility vehicles and compact tractors with a variety of attachments. Everything to get your toughest job done. They also have a huge inventory of both new and used John Deere outdoor power equipment in stock and ready for your test ride. That's right, try it before you buy it. Stop in today and see what River Valley Turf has to offer. Conveniently located in Davenport, Silvis, and online at rivervalleyturf.com.
Now is the time to get in on the action with Elite Sportsbook. Receive a 50% match on your first online deposit up to $200 for all brand new accounts now through August 31st. Sign up at Rhythm City Casino Resort or Riverside Casino and Golf Resort to qualify for the new account deposit match. Visit EliteSportsbook.com for complete details and restrictions. Then start betting on your phone anywhere in Iowa. Get in on the action with Elite Sportsbook. Must be 21. Gambling a problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
When you're listening to the best play-by-play, you know you're listening to the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Back in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Dunright Satellite and Dish. This is Don't Hassle Us Logo on AM 1170. And we're back talking about the story with the Iowa Hawkeye program, and I know Jay's been trying to find some more information on what's been coming out.
What'd you find there?
Like I said, Hawkeye Nation put this under a feature that DJK did. The crazy thing about it, if you guys go to Twitter, not everyone is on Twitter or anything like that. Not everyone's on there, but so the comments are on there. But again, you have to remember all the things that you say, you post on social media, and we'll look a little bit of his statements on his time at Iowa football. And again, these are just statements. Nothing is fact, and nothing has been proven or anything like that. But then you have other tweets that he has from like 2015, years after this situation happened in 2009, 2010, where he says like, you know, he understands. He says that Coach Ferentz and I maybe butted heads. We didn't get along, but he said you'd never see me calling him. You'll never hear me calling him a racist.
Right.
And now we are 5 years later, and there's some things that are a little bit different. So it just again, this is on Hawkeye Nation. Rob Howe posted it. He does say that Hawkeye Nation reached out to Iowa for comment on Tuesday. They did not have a statement so far. All right. For those of you who don't know, DJK, Daryl Johnson Koulianis, played football for Iowa from 2006 to 2010. He finished his career as an all-time leader in receiving yards and career receptions. He was twice earned all Big Ten honors, including first team as a senior. He was kicked off the team early in December of 2010 after he was arrested on drug charges. Most of those charges were later dropped. The situation, he was in a house. There was a drug dealer there. They kind of got him on charges saying he was a drug dealer. Those were all dropped. Does he admit later on in his post that, yeah, what did he partake? Of course, he says, I did. He made mistakes. They were all kids. But there's other things that are more important than that, all right? And some of the things that the allegations are pretty severe, all right? He says that Coach Doyle relentlessly insulted and belittled me, called him soft. He labeled him as a P word. He called him an entitled brat.
What's the P? Oh, never mind.
Yeah. And he proclaimed that he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. The silver spoon thing comes because he was his adoptive father was a hardworking physician. His mother was an attorney. She was a stay-at-home mom. But there's other things in his backstory where his birth mother was from home to home and being evicted, and not easy as can be. But
yeesh.
He was born into poverty, and he says just a lot of things that Coach Doyle, ordered him to run around the practice field with a trash can on his head to punish him and humiliate him in front of his teammates. And he just goes on to say a lot of things about Coach Ferentz. That Coach Ferentz basically had it out for him, had him in there almost weekly for meetings to tell him like, hey, you can't wear clothes like the way you do. You can't say some of the things you have. You need to be more blue collared. It's no doubt that they don't have Twitter. They do allow that. We had Dallas on, and he said, oh, we still have Facebook and everything else, but just be smart about what you're doing. And I think in general, I think we all should be smart about what we're posting on things. But they're not. They don't have other their Twitter or anything like that.
It's not supervised per se. So he's just saying he was targeted by him, basically.
Yeah, this is the one that's kind of off. That he says KF's Kirk Ferentz is He says this is his quote, okay? Interestingly enough, KF's hate for me was so deep-end, and in retrospective, there were so many red flags. On November 20th, 2010, the senior day against Ohio State University, during pregame ceremony, when the seniors and parents walked onto the field to walk onto the sideline to shake hands with parents, Coach conveniently avoided contact with my parents while shaking all the other parents' hands. And he says, feel free to check the footage. Then, after losing to Ohio State in Kinnick Stadium at the senior dinner postgame, my father, being the better man, approached Kirk Ferentz to thank him for the opportunities that Iowa football had provided for his son. The response he gave to my parents was, do me a favor. Tell Daryl I have one more thing in my pocket for him. I want him to worry. He wanted me to worry, to be afraid that it was coming soon, but would not elaborate further. My parents, and even now, my 21 and 17-year-old brothers, who were 11 and 7 at the time, recall this haunting exchange vividly to this day. On December 7th, 2010, the authorities raided my home, and I have no doubts, based on that conversation with my family, that it was orchestrated by KF. I was immediately kicked off the team and expelled from the university. No due process, no counseling, no treatment programs, and no second chances. Basically, they're making the head coach of the University of Iowa football to sound like a Bond villain.
Yeah, that's extreme. A lot of the things that you were reading right there sounds like, well, I think I heard some of the same things from my coaches growing up. Like soft, being called soft, or,
Okay, we can look at that.
Being forced to run around. Being singled out, doing none of that is wrong for a coach to do, in my opinion. You have to be hard on the players, especially if you see potential in certain ones.
There is a school of thought of that. All right, that the way that you can be. Some coaches are hard on you.
Mm-hmm.
They want the best for you. It doesn't mean just because they're hard on you doesn't mean that they
hate you.
I will say this: 10 years ago.
Jay, I mean, think about this. I almost draw this correlation a little bit. I mean, a football camp / training camp / off season, and then going into your workouts or whatever. It's very military-ish in what they're trying to accomplish. Okay, they're trying to mold you into a team. And the best way to do that, and the military does this, they break you down and build you up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And yes, part of getting broke down, you're going to be called certain names. Now, I don't think racist names are ones that account, but, the P word, things like that.
It doesn't sound like any racist names were used.
No, but I'm just saying that these are things, being a person who went through boot camp, they're going to break you down. They want, basically, when you get broke down, built back up, it's the team. It's like that's why you all get your head shaved when you get to boot camp. So you have no identity.
Mm-hmm.
You are one. Then that's kind of the thing with, then they're not necessarily doing it to that extreme at a football game, but you're throwing the helmet on. Once you're wearing the black and gold per se, you're all in this helmet. You're the same. You're the team. You're a unit. And I think that's that the coaching style is a lot of it is military style. Okay? I mean, and I don't know all coaches do that. And listen, you don't need to go to the extreme like a Bobby Knight per se and be, extremely hands-on with players, and even in the military nowadays that doesn't happen. It happened in, like old Full Metal Jacket times, but,
You represent more than just yourself, though, now. You represent the institution or the college.
So if they're coming down on certain guys, I mean, I get it. Now, what would be interesting to me would be, okay, how many white players have a similar story to DJK? You follow what I'm saying? Where Coach Doyle was hard on them as well. Yeah. And that's where I want it. I want everybody to tell their story. I want the truth to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was a situation where he was, quote unquote, just hard on the black guys, yeah, I mean that's BS.
I don't
feel that's probably the case.
Mm-mm.
All right, I don't feel that it probably is, but at the same time, we need to find out before we cast total judgment.
Yeah, I can't assume.
And at the same time, we need to find out before we can say 100%, hey, DJK, you're full of crap. Or because obviously other players, I mean, you referenced James Daniels.
Yeah. Well, James Daniels is the one that he went on Twitter and he said, brought up some things, but I don't want to take anything away from what they're saying, but it is when you release these statements in the past and you say, in one of the paragraphs is, I owe all this to Coach Doyle, and then turn around and say these things, I don't know.
Sounds bitter to me.
It's contradicting.
It's contradicting. He left the University of Iowa program. He's going in the NFL draft. He's thanking Hawkeye Nation, and the last paragraph is thank to Coach Doyle, and an entire paragraph is to thank this man, and then turn around years later and then be like, oh yeah, by the way,
right? Like
no one said you have to write this exit statement. There wasn't.
That's why
exit
it sounds
yet.
bitter. Like there's some malicious intent behind it, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, it just doesn't make sense for it to. Yeah. For it to even come out at all.
Right.
But, Troy, you're right. It's not one of those things that we can say like, nuh-uh, not in our backyard. We have to look at it and say, and we can't ignore it.
And we have to look at it with a critical eye.
Yeah,
I mean, because I myself, for one, I know I have been critical of other programs, of other universities. And then, if, like I said, if this is something that's been covered up, if this is something that has been overlooked, listen, I mean, the hammer's going to drop, and I'm sorry. What happens. If it's true, and this is what I'm hearing, listen.
Let the chips fall where they may.
I said it a long time ago. If I was a Penn State fan, Joe Pa, screw you. You're not getting away with it. And the same thing to the rapist up at Michigan State, the gymnast coach. You know, it makes you sick. And I'm not just going to be a blind fan to quote unquote Hawkeye Nation.
Yeah.
Just because I like the Hawkeyes. No, I'll be outwardly critical and be like, yeah, you know, if this has happened, then things have to change and people got to go. Unfortunately, and I know we have friends that have been on the show that have told us stories about Coach Ferentz that they hold him in high regard.
Yeah.
And they've changed my opinion of Coach Ferentz.
Yeah.
So,
what have I said?
So it's hard for me to hear that and hear this. What I have a lot to, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm sure at the same time there were people that had the same kind of stories about Joe Paterno. But you know,
true.
And so I think for us, it's sit back, find out for sure what's happening. But I don't necessarily want to become hypocritical,
right?
As in where I'm just going to give them a pass. And I made statements in the past that if it was Iowa, I'd feel the same way. Well, I do. I feel the same way. I feel saddened and embarrassed a little bit. And like I said, I hope to God that, you know, it's a.
I think the truth will come out. I think with more people coming forward, we'll find out. We'll find out.
I hope the truth's nothing that.
Hope for the best, expect the worst.
Right.
I
don't know. The truth's the truth. I don't know what I'm really hoping, to be honest with you. I just hope that I hope that it does come out. I guess that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping the truth comes out and we'll see what it is. You feel bad, you know, that if people were made to feel in a certain way because of the race, you know, it's crap.
Yep.
And there's not more you can say about that. I don't know what else you can do or say. You know, like Coach Earl said, though, at the same time, there's steps and things can be taken from every bit and every angle to help reduce things. And, you know, that's why I like having people on like Coach Earl, that he has a different perspective because he can speak to what it's like to be a black male in this country, which we can't.
Right.
You know, so that's...
Amen, brother Troy.
Well, there's really nothing more to say than that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you have to.
None of us in this room can say what it's like.
No.
You know, can I sit there and tell you that I've been pulled over by a cop that's been a jerk? Yeah.
Right. Oh, I have.
But have I been pulled over by cops that have been cool as all get out?
Yep.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, it's not...
Again, I haven't gone through every single... I know Israel says his blog, he has the tweets on there and of all the players. I haven't seen like a player, a white player, say like, "Hey, he's right. The guy's right about these statements." Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And not that I need that to authenticate it at all. I just, like you said, you probably would just want someone to be like, "Hey, yeah, it's a little harsh." Now, it doesn't. To me, that if someone says that to me, you're acting like... If a coach said it to me, and I'm 44 years old, and honestly, if Coach Meyer said it to me, Coach Frecken said it to me, hey, you're acting like a real pee right now, I wouldn't. My feelings would not be hurt.
No, not at all.
I would stop dead in my track and be like, "What am I doing?"
Mm-hmm.
But it's a different day and age, and that's okay. Like you can't talk that way anymore, and that's fine. And so it's hard when we sit in this room at our age that we had coaches that way, and to judge why people said that stuff. So,
I had coaches that
I was called a POS, certain times.
I had two coaches that basically ruined my entire senior year of baseball. I mean, because they were just jackasses. But, it's because they were jackasses. I mean...
but we're going to put a pin in that.
Or I was
we're going to put a pin in that, take a different route, and we're going to talk to Jake from Elite Sportsbook here.
Do you want to do this?
No. Jake's on the phone.
He's on the phone.
Yeah, so here we go. Go.
Hi, Jake. Welcome to Don't Hassle So Local, buddy. How you been?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, we're having fun. We have Leah here. She's curious as to what you're wearing.
What are you wearing today, Jake, from Stay Farm?
I'm not wearing any khakis today. Sorry.
You're not wearing any pants?
No khakis.
Oh, okay.
So do they have you back in the suit and tie?
They do, yes. And I'm actually at Rhythm right outside of draft day right now. So I'm getting back to normal. Just have a pretty busy afternoon here.
Yeah. Is there any time soon that you're going to be able to want us to come in and do a live show?
What's that? You want to do a live show, Sam?
Yeah, I miss hanging out there.
Well, we'd love to have you back. We're just kind of taking this reopening slow. But
I hear you, Jake.
July, we're going to amp some stuff up. So.
Well, I know our whole thing is about sports and sports gambling, but I got an email right before the show, and I'm kind of excited about this. You guys have a comedy series coming up here.
Ooh.
At Rhythm City?
Yeah.
Yep, every year, usually we pick a comedy series weekend for some entertainment. So I'm not as versed on the entertainment side of things.
Yeah.
But I can do my best to answer any questions you might have.
No, I'll run it down for you. I mean, this is pretty cool if you look at it, because the thing is, it's always good to have comedy's great, and of course we need it in this day and age. But August 13th, Josh Arnold's going to be there. Michael Winslow on September 24th. Basically best known for the cult classic Police Academy.
The sound guy.
Yeah.
I've seen
Mary
him
Mack
live.
is going to be October 22nd. And then Thursday, October 29th, Tim Meadows. That's great.
Whoa, what?
Yeah.
Going.
Hello, ladies.
Yeah, it's a lady. It's a lady.
What had happened was Jake had stole my pants.
It's a lady.
Oh, yeah. But
Leon Phelps,
started.
Leon Phelps, the ladies'
maybe you
man.
can come down and do a little live remote outside the comedy show.
We got to get Tim Meadows on the show, do a little promo.
No, Dewey Cox, this is cocaine. You ain't going to have none of this.
Can you imagine we have the ladies' man on our show? Ooh, listen to that.
We have to replace all the light bulbs with red lights.
Chlamydia is a soup. I don't care what you say.
And satin kimonos.
Then December 10th, Todd McComas and Ryan on Sunday, November 15th, Ryan Niemiller. So this is great. I did not know that you guys have done this before, Jake. So that's fantastic that you guys are putting this together. It's something. This is something we need to highlight because we all need to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure. Especially like you said in this day and age. So.
How was the UFC over the weekend there?
Good. We didn't show the fights this weekend as it was our first weekend open, and there was a lot going on. So we're kind of dipping our feet into the water with that. Possibly doing UFC 251 in July, but stay tuned. I'll have more information as we kind of see how this first weekend went. But yeah, this next weekend's UFC lines are up on the site. Fight night is coming up here, and then. Also, today we just released a new promotion for La Liga. The Spanish Professional Soccer League comes back on June 11th, so we have a free bet for that. If you bet on any offering on La Liga, $15 or more, you get a $5 free bet, just as kind of an intro into this new market that is becoming available. So go to elitesportsbook.com and to the promotion section there, and you can check that out.
Jake, let me ask you, because I think we might need to educate everyone that's going on. So to get an Elite Sportsbook account, you have to go into Rhythm City first, right?
Yes, correct.
And then you set
stop at the Resort Club desk and sign up for a Resort Club card, and then that allows you to go onto the website and follow the prompts and activate your account.
All right, and then you activate your account from there. Are you seeing foot traffic though over the weekend? People coming in?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, it's our first weekend open, so it's a little bit slower than normal. But we're getting some signups and people coming in. I just ate lunch at draft day today. Good lunch crowd, so it's exciting to have the doors open and seeing people back in.
Oh, that's great. The lunch crowd's back. People are trying to get something.
Crab legs?
No, that's the buffet.
not quite yet.
Don't tease me like that.
Sorry.
Don't tease me like that. So I see that the 2020 Charles Schwab Challenge, the lines are up for this weekend.
Yes, that's correct. So golf is back. Those are live. I'm not at my desk right in front of me, but we're excited to have golf and the PGA Tour coming back.
All right. Well, I'll take you through them while you're on the phone with us, Jake, and T-Roy. You can chime in here. The favorite to win is Rory McIlroy at plus 700. Then John Rahm at plus 1,000. Justin Thomas at plus 1,200. Bryson DeChambeau at plus 2,000. T-Roy Brooks is at plus 2,000. Webb Simpson as well. Dustin Johnson at plus 2,500. Patrick Reed at plus 2,500. Is there anybody that you're eyeing this week at all, T-Roy, this weekend at the Charles Schwab Open Challenge?
You know what? Koepka, if he's playing.
Well, he is.
Well, there you go.
He's I just said it. He's a plus 2,500. Why you like Brooks?
I just like his name.
What about Jordan? Jordan's not
Troy,
playing
how
in
much
this one?
would you put on Koepka?
I'd put
That's
100. I'd put 100 on Koepka
To win 2,500?
Yeah.
That's a great
You want
bet.
Hondo on him? Yeah.
I'd put a hundo on him because Koepka, he's a stud, dude.
Is he?
Oh yeah,
That's
Brooks
an interesting
Brooks
bet.
is a stud.
When do you have to do that by?
By tomorrow night, because they're going to tee off early on Sunday, our time. So you're not. On Thursday.
Thursday, yep.
They're not going to be the Elite Sportsbook front. I mean, you could do it online anytime up until they tee off, but you can't go in to make the cash wager because they won't be open on time.
I'm going to have to research these fellers.
I think we should.
Yeah.
The field is minus 225. I don't know how the field. I mean, I guess you get so many people involved. They're minus 225. I don't know who's going to come out and do that, but I don't know if that's a bet. But I don't gamble on golf very often, but I will. Yeah,
it's so hard to gamble on golf. But I mean, let's give it a shot.
That's right.
Yeah, during these desperate times, you gotta.
We gotta find some things to entertain us. Yeah.
I'll gamble on a coin flip at this point.
So I guess what we're looking at, Jake, is next week we can expect you to come in here.
Yes, I'm excited to be back next week. So, something came up last minute. I was hoping to come back this week, but I'll bring my khakis and my polo.
So,
and be back in.
How are things looking there? Because I haven't been in there yet. I was out of town over the weekend. I was gonna get in there and put a fight on Amanda, who she won her by decision, or judge's decision, whatever else. She went the full thing, but she just dismantled her opponent. But so how are things looking in there, numbers wise, participation wise?
Good. The in-person, bets have been a little bit slower than they were when we stopped, but obviously that was, due to a lot more things that were offered to bet on.
Oh, yeah.
But our online has picked up recently, especially with the activity schedule, starting to come back a little bit. Good atmosphere going in draft day. All the TVs are on. The tables are spaced out appropriately. Everyone's wearing masks, so it's definitely safe. So we're open for business and exciting, to see business pick up here slowly as things start to come back online. And we're getting really amped up for the NBA season now that we have a date.
Yeah. So, since you've got the ear of Mo out there, July 31st is a Friday. That is also the first day of NBA play. The play is going to begin. So that seems like the type of day that maybe you might want to have us come out and do a live show.
Ooh.
Hey, there you go. I actually have a meeting later this week to discuss our NBA plans. So I'll put a little bug in their ear.
All right. You do that and get that going, and I'll see if we can bring down AC Earl, and he can be there also. Former Moline basketball player, University of Iowa basketball player, and former NBA player, and world traveler, and pretty much my best friend. So,
awesome.
See if we can do that.
I'm telling Fran.
Yeah. So, anything else out there for us, my man?
We do have another promotion going on right now.
Okay.
We've really started amping up our promotions to keep everyone engaged. So it's called Bet More, Get More. So if you go on the site, it's online only, and bet $20 or more on 3 different days this week, we'll give you a $20 free bet immediately. So it's pretty much like getting $20 back.
Okay, explain that to me though. All right, so if I bet it within, when does the cutoff date? How many? By what does it have to be within 7 days, or is it?
So it started on Sunday and it goes until next Sunday on June 14th. So so if I would go in today and bet $20 on the Charles Schwab, and then tomorrow I bet $20 on an NBA future, and then the next day I put $20 on Iowa to beat Iowa State. Then I'll automatically get $20 put into my account. It doesn't we don't have to wait till those bets are
they're not settled yet.
So it's instantly after you make your third one. So you just have to do a $20 bet on 3 separate days between now and June 14th.
Love it.
All right, that's good.
I love
and
it.
Also, we have the sign-up bonus, too. So if you come into Rhythm City, stop at the Resort Club desk, sign up for an Elite Sportsbook account. By signing up for a Players Club card, you'll get 50% deposit match on your first online deposit. And that'll be all the way up to $200. So you deposit $400 in your online account, you get $200 in free bet.
All right. So you guys have, you guys are really stepping it up.
Yeah, it's been a busy time.
Well, I mean, you guys had some time to think about this stuff, so
just a little bit.
We're constantly coming up with new ideas, new promotions. We're going to be giving away some merchandise on our social media later this week, maybe next week. So follow us at Elite Sportsbook on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, man, I appreciate it. I really look forward to having you in studio next week. It's been too long, and I'm glad that they got you out of those khakis and back into suits.
I want you back in those khakis, though, Jake. You hear me?
just for you guys.
God, dude. Run what you can, Jake.
This is getting a little weird.
Good. That's just how I like
All right,
it.
my man. Hey, thank you so much. Hey, tell everyone where to follow Elite Sportsbook on social media.
Yep, at Elite Sportsbook, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Awesome. All right, buddy. Thank you so much. You stay safe out there, and thanks for calling in and giving us all the stuff. And I'm definitely going to get in on this $20 bets 3 times and get a free $20. All right?
Thanks,
Awesome.
Jake.
Perfect.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon, buddy. Take care. Bye. All right. Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to call, we're going to zoom in with Morris Jones Jr. So we'll be right back. Don't Hassle Us Local, ESPN 1170 AM.
Hey, Quad Cities, stop going to your favorite social media sites asking for suggestions of where to get your oil change, who does the best tattoo work, or the best place for lunch in the Quad Cities. Pick up your local lowest guy. QCA has easy-to-navigate table of contents to help you find whatever you're looking for. Or go to the website at localsloves.com. Click on Quad Cities and browse favorites. It's so easy to use, and they even rank the most popular places for you. Locals love us, your guide to the best.
You like that? You like that? Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
This is UFC Hall of Famer Pat Miletich. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us. We're local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
We will get our momentum back. Our business is back, our smiles back, ourselves back. Because that's what this community does. At First Midwest Bank, we want to thank our colleagues for doing everything they can to help our clients and our communities get through this. Because we are all in this together. And together, we will get our momentum back. First Midwest Bank. Visit firstmidwest.com. Member FDIC.
Escúchame, it is Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
There's a great prank that Zach Lowe reported about Michael Carter Williams. The Sixers arrived at the allegedly haunted Pfister Hotel in Milwaukee. Carter Williams arranged with hotel staff to enter the room of each rookie before they could. He removed a vent, he inserted a walkie-talkie, and he sealed the vent shut. Carter Williams, in his room on the other end of the walkie-talkie, whispered menacing threats and nursery rhymes. And he watched the rookies react through baby monitors that he had concealed around the room. Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Levitard Show, please. Scarier to hear in your haunted hotel. Menacing threats whispered or nursery rhymes?
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Ace Muffler Clinic has been serving the Quad Cities area for over 60 years. There's a reason why our customers continue to trust us with their vehicles. We can fix almost anything. We can fix your muffler, tune your brakes, change your oil, change your tires, replace your battery, customize your exhaust, tune your engine, repair your suspension, replace your radiator and your water pump. Align your automobile, refill your transmission fluid, and change your filters. And we believe in doing all those things right the first time. For fast, friendly service, visit Ace Muffler Clinic at 4th Ave and 15th Street in Rock Island.
Man, I love my kids so much. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch our soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I once used a tube to suck snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to tweens, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We take you back to 1954.
I'm looking for a revolutionary sound.
Plug, 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 plug. Your toilet's plugged, plugged, plugged.
That's not it.
Well, since my baby left me, my party's been all plugged up.
Next.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name.
And away go troubles down the drain.
Roto-Rooter.
That's it!
Roto-Rooter has been locally owned for over 60 years and is the trusted expert. Call the original Roto-Rooter for free estimates and fast 24-hour service.
Roto-Rooter.
On August 22nd, dozens of people will be rappelling from the Hotel Blackhawk in support of Big Brothers Big Sisters at their Over the Edge event. This year, you can form a team to help you raise needed funds. Your coworkers, a golf foursome, your book club, or just a crowd you go to happy hour with. Why not form a family team and celebrate a life event like graduation, a key birthday, or anniversary? To find out more about forming an Over the Edge team, go to overtheedgeqc.org.
When you're listening to the best sports talk in the Quad Cities, you know you're listening to the Quad Cities Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
All right. Hey, you guys are actually listening to us setting up a actual Zoom right now. So.
You're so talented, Jay.
I'm not. You don't understand how hard this was. So,
Let's hope it works.
Let's hope it works. Hold on a second. Yeah, this is going to be crazy. All right. Let's see. We're going to go to preview here. And then, hey. Yo. All right, we're going to go line in here. Yo, Morris, can you hear me? Hold on. Yeah. There we got that there. Yo, can you hear me? Oh, man. This is good radio here.
Yeah, I can see him.
I know. You can see me? Can't hear. Can you hear me? I can't hear you either. We had this up and working earlier. This is insane. I just had it going earlier. And why isn't it? Everything's 1, 1, 1. We're going to test more. Yeah, what's going on?
No, Derek goes, if the Zoom call works, I'm hacking the show twice a week.
Yeah, and I told him, I go, you know the show. It's highly doubtful it will work.
10% chance.
Yeah, I just don't audio. We're gonna test the speaker and microphone one more time. Yeah, we hear that. Do you hear that?
Oh, I hear him.
You hear that?
Oh, I hear him.
Yeah. Yo, can you hear me? I can hear you loud. All right, we're in. All right. Now I'm gonna change. Give me 1 second. I gotta change our preview screen. I'm gonna move you up into our Facebook Live, my man. And then so we're gonna go to look at this. See, I don't know why. Where are we at here now? There we go. All right. I'm going to move you, Morris, over here. And I'll move Bomber. I'll move you over there. And I'll just not be on the Facebook. So, anyway. All right. Morris.
What's going on?
Not much. Can you turn up your volume at all on your microphone for me?
Let's see here. Microphone. Yes, I can.
All right.
Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, it's just a little low on my end, but I can turn up our headphones. So, right, Bomber?
Yeah, I turned mine up.
I'll turn down our microphones and I'll turn up our headphones. Okay, Morris, you're on. You can see me, but over here on our Facebook Live, that's Bomber. Her name's Leah.
Hi.
Hey, Leah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
So,
Wonderful.
Good.
all right. So, let's see if maybe my microphone. Now everything's fine. Yeah, make sure your microphone. All right. So, Morris, I talked to you on the phone earlier. But you are from Davenport originally.
Yes, Davenport, Iowa. Native, yes.
Davenport, Iowa. All right, I'm going to turn down our microphones because I know we are loud, and I'm going to make sure you're loud, okay?
Okay.
Again, this is our first time doing this, Morris. Doing a Zoom, so we're happy to have you on.
All right. I'm glad to be on.
All right, so Davenport, Iowa, born here, and you grew up where at?
I grew up over off of 806 West 17th Street, and the Davenport area. So, yeah, man, I'll never forget Iowa, man.
And you moved to Tennessee at what age?
Moved to Tennessee around 10. We moved to Memphis, and from Memphis we lived there for about a year or two. And then we migrated to Nashville, and that's where I've been ever since, man. You could say I'm a native, but I can't. I mean, my roots are Iowa.
Yeah.
I represent Iowa.
So we have to thank a listener of our show, friend of the show and everything else. His name's Derek Braderson. We call him Easer A's. He set us out on Twitter after seeing you on Holy Moly, the ABC show. They're in their second season right now. And he said, you got to get the guy in from Davenport. And like when I talked to you on the phone, I said, all right, there are things that have been going on outside of, I don't know, the curfew that we're on and protests and taking care of other businesses that I was like, I got to get this guy on and I got to do it. So today I made sure this morning to look you up through social media, sent you a message, and you were nice enough to reply back that you'd be on. We had a phone conversation and everything. So I want to get to the Holy Moly, and I want to get to your golf career. You have a very interesting story. And I want to talk about it, like, because your golf game didn't start at you're just playing at Palmer Hills or Duck Creek Golf Course, and then you moved to Tennessee and you've been golfing ever since. How did you get to become now your journey to becoming a professional golfer?
Well, it all started with volunteering. I've always been an advocate for the community and working with underprivileged kids within the community because I was one before. And I've had various mentors. So what happened was I went to the first tee and began to just learn the game of golf by volunteering and teaching kids how to play golf. And doing that, like in a short period of time, I developed a really decent game. And one of the coaches there, Bob Robert Moore, said, "Hey man, I want to give you an opportunity to go to college." And at first, you're thinking at that time I was 31 years old, and I was like, wait a minute, this is a joke. Yeah, right. And he said, "No, man, I want to give you an opportunity to go to HBCU college." And I said, "Oh wow, okay, all right." So I took that opportunity, and my game really, really improved and elevated being around a coach that had the opportunity to give me that. And then golf ignited, and I started playing around 30, 31, 32, and the game just went from there. So I decided after I played collegiate golf, I was like, you know what? We played on a lot of decent courses, played a lot of guys that was like really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what? Why don't I go ahead and just turn pro? And I did. It's the APGA Tour that I'm playing on right now. Awesome. And just looking at other circuits, man, and that's how golf came into play. But there's a story behind this whole thing. So
Tell me.
It's not just, it just went straight to golf, right? We had adversities that we got to face, and it just seems that I became a man of gifts. I can say I've been very gifted, and I took that and I ran with it. I discovered that I had dyslexia in 2013, and it was amazing, man. And I had to finagle my way with dyslexia and diagnosed it as a learning disability. And I had to fight my way, man, through everything. I didn't learn how to read until I was at the age of 32, 33.
Wow.
Self-taught, man, math. And mind you, I had a golf scholarship to Fisk, which is a historical black college and known for academics. They don't care about sports. If you don't have the academic culture, brother, you are in trouble. So I had to learn that, man, and that was brutal. And I taught myself how to read and overcome that, that adversity. So giving back to the community is why I do it all, right? If I'm not helping somebody who was, or trying to get to where I've been or I've gotten, I'm gonna give back to that, man, because community is everything, right?
Yeah.
So that's some of the struggle and story to how I got to here. So a friend of a friend knew a friend. Hey, this show called Holy Moly is airing, and they're looking for some participants. Would you be interested in doing it? And I was like, yeah, $250,000. No brainer, right?
Yeah.
Who can turn that down, right? So, I took it, and I was gonna donate some of the proceeds to a nonprofit organization that I work with. It's called the Chief Thompson Foundation here in Nashville. It's for inner city kids, and I did some golf lessons with them and taught some golf lessons in terms of just life, because I feel like life and golf go hand in hand, right? You're not always going to have a great game. If you play, all you golfers out there know, you could be the greatest of the greatest, and we've seen them. It will humble you very quick.
That's so true.
So, being with that said, man, this is just like a short synopsis of the journey that I've succumbed to, being where I'm at today and still going through. To get to with everything going on. It was amazing, man. I went to California to shoot and came back, and Nashville got hit with the tornado. So mind you, I come back to Nashville, the tornado hits, then the coronavirus hits, and then this pandemic hits, and then the world ignites with this injustice.
Mm-hmm.
So you talk about a series of events.
Yeah.
Man, wow. Right. So here I am, man. Here I am.
I want to come back to some of the things you said. All right, so 2011, am I right? Is that when you went to Fisk? Is that when?
Yeah, I went to Fisk at 2012.
Okay.
2013.
And you didn't figure out the dyslexia till 2013.
I felt that I figured out the dyslexia before I got to Fisk. I figured that out in 2010. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. What was that like in school growing up, though? That had to be frustrating.
Brutal.
Okay.
Brutal. I was an athlete, man. I was always good at doing something with my hands. And of course, when you're an athlete, back in those days, they pushed you through because you're good. You brought reputation to the school. You did things, so they just pushed you through. Not understanding that the thing I had was dyslexia. It was extremely brutally hard for me to get through high school. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I had a GPA of 1.1, but it wasn't a reflection of my personality and who I was and who I was becoming. So I still fought through it all, and it was really hard, man. And graduating in 2000, you can imagine that transition in between not knowing at 2000 all the way up to 2010, trying to figure out life, right? It was rough, man. Yeah.
What did you do in between until you started doing? I know you were so you just worked with underprivileged youth for 10 years till finally you're like, hey, I got a gift. Would someone push you in the right direction? And we all need that in life too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what I did in between the time was I went and worked for this nonprofit organization called Phoenix Homes Foster Care.
Mhm.
And primarily what it did is work with DHS and DCS with kids within the community. And that's how that mentoring started. And I
Mhm.
was working as a mentor for that agency. And, I don't know if you know, but worldwide, we had a big layoff here. I worked there for a couple of years. And they discontinued the program. So I had to figure out another way. And then I got into the security industry,
Okay.
where, of course, again, I'll go back to I had to use my hands and be very smart. And I started doing private detail work for a couple of artists and celebrities well known. One of them to be actually had worked for Dolly Parton on her security detail. And I was just blessed to be in the right place at the right time. And, after that, obviously transitioning into, I got into law enforcement, and I worked as a law enforcement officer, and left that to pursue my dream, as a professional golfer. And it was definitely a journey, my friend.
Yeah.
Definitely a journey.
Well, yeah, it's incredible. So let's talk about the Holy Moly experience. So, friend of a friend gives you, the idea. Hey, here's a link. Maybe you should apply. Take us through the process into there, because I think you're taking sports and you're taking kind of almost a little bit of reality television, but it's all a process interview. How does it go?
Well, one thing I'm gonna tell you is never a dull moment. That process was really fun. You met a lot of great people. Obviously you have to fit the bill. You got to bring a unique style to it. It's competitive. You're competing for $250,000. What do you do with that, right? So it was an amazing experience, man. It was strategy. You had to figure out a way to get through it all, and it was rough, man. I tell you the truth, it was rough. And I can tell you, the water was cold. you try to make a putt at 34 degrees and your hands are doing this right here. Yeah, you see how that works.
Yeah.
Right?
Was there a long interview process, or how did it go from you applying to maybe a phone to a Zoom like we're having now to flying you out? How was the process?
It was an extreme process. You definitely had to be ready. You just can't obviously have anybody on there. Definitely have some good qualities and attributes to add to it. No record or anything crazy like that. Yeah. But it was strenuous, man. I don't even know honestly where to begin to start with that. Honestly, it was just so much, man. And you had so many characters involved, man. And it's just like, looking back at it now, I'm actually in awe. And dang, I actually went through all this stuff. Gophers, you name it, man. It's like, wait a minute. You go through these interview processes and you're like, wow. So it was a long one, yes.
Do they send you an email? Do they give a phone call? They say like, hey, we want you to come out to California. How did that go? How'd you get the nod that yeah, you're in?
Actually they sent me an email and was like, hey, you've been selected. I was like, what? I was like, oh snap, I'm gonna go to do this, y'all.
Selected for what?
Let me do this. You know what I'm saying? It was exciting, man. I was like, oh, it was an experience, man, for sure. Yes.
And then what was it like when you saw yourself on ABC television?
I was like, oh God. Wait a minute. It's one of those things it's a surreal moment because you're actually looking at yourself and you're like, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? But it was so hilarious.
Yeah.
It was so hilarious. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
And you've got a big family too, right?
Oh yes, man. I do, man. I have a large family, man.
So were your brothers clowning you being on ABC and golf and everything?
Where do I start? Where do I start? I had a couple of brothers say, hey, man, you should have went over the top. Hey, man, you lost your foot. I said, yeah, I did. I said, I try to bulldoze through it.
Yeah.
But I want to tell y'all, I ain't never known for a fly to be on some type of protein where I feel like that fly needs to get tested for something because he was strong, man. That fly was strong, man.
So you do the show, like you said. There was the tornado, and then the quarantine type of thing. How do you continue to practice your game during the quarantine?
Well, mainly all you could do is really just putt, and maybe try to find a field to do some chipping. You really can't practice with it being social distance. So a lot of that stuff is still shut down, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. With everything going on around the world, the protests, it's spiked. A lot of people are not following wear the mask. They're just going out, and unfortunately, that slows the process down. But you know what? That's the time where you can regroup, find some things and other ways to help people in various ways. Maybe giving pointers and tips, and showing them different aspects of what you can do. But one thing that you do is stay in shape, and just try your best to work out, get in the gym, eat healthy, because it's easy to not eat healthy. Obviously health is a big factor with this. So that's primarily the way you can focus on practicing. But I bought one of those little putting carpets, and hey man, every chance I get, I try to putt, man, to just get a feel so I can be ready when I start back playing on the tour.
Do you know when that's going to be at all?
Right now, I'm not quite sure when that's going to open back up. As soon as that does, I'll definitely make the announcement to get back out there for sure.
Real quick, hey Bomber, because the computer's over here, I have Morris over here. If there's any questions on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread, let us know, and then ask Morris, please.
Well, I have a question. I want to know. I'm a golfer. I'm not even close to the same level as you.
Okay.
My grandfather was a professional golfer, though. So there's potential and hope for me yet. But I want to ask what you find the most challenging. Do you find driving, chipping, or putting the most challenging?
I would always say you drive for show, but you putt for dough. Putting is the key to success. I don't, you hear guys say, I hit it 3, so. That's great. But can you make a putt for a birdie, and can you score even par or under? I would have to say that putting is the most important part of golf. Period.
It's probably the most difficult as well. Is there a reason for that?
I mean, you have a very small percentage of guys who can really putt the ball worldwide. I mean, you're talking about PGA Tour professionals, and even there, still they're playing on the top-notch quality courses. It's not like they're going to play on a missile course. They're going to play like the top-notch. So it makes a big difference when you can putt well. Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna focus on my putt game.
Yeah. Hey, look. That putting rug, that little putting rug.
I'm getting one.
So you grew up on sports, your sports. I'm assuming that makes you a sports fan.
Absolutely.
Give me some of your teams.
All right, NBA, Boston Celtics.
Okay.
Favorite player, Ray Allen. Hands down.
Hey, all right. Yeah. They're talking about a he got game too.
Oh. Man, I can't wait.
Jesus.
Hey, that'd be good. Jesus settles work.
That's right.
I'm a lefty, so I always try to play, and I love that, man. Jesus said he was the truth in that. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
So, textbook jumper. The second team, NFL, Baltimore Ravens, favorite player, Ray Lewis.
Okay.
Come on, Ray. Shout out to you, Ray. Baseball, I have to say the Dodgers, because I have a friend of mine who he played. His name is Les Warland, great left-handed pitcher. He actually played for Iowa, believe it or not.
Oh, right on.
Right. Yeah, man. Interesting enough. That's primarily it, in terms of teams. Oh, and I did this for you guys. Obviously, I live in Nashville, so this is the Predators. I have to show this, I have to show them because I live here, obviously.
Yeah.
Do something, but that's primarily my teams just far. And then golf, I have to say, two of my best players that I love, Tiger Woods, obviously, and Roy McIlroy. I have to give him a lot of credit, man, for sure.
Well, I don't know what they have down there in Tennessee, but they legalized gambling here in Iowa last August. So they are opening up the PGA. The Charles Schwab Challenge starts on Thursday. Rory is the favorite.
Yeah, we just talked about him.
I know. I'm trying to see if I still have it up. I'm going to ask your opinion on where we should put our money at.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Rory's the favorite at plus 700. John Rahm is second at plus 1,000. Then Justin Thomas. Then Bryson at plus 2,000. Webb Simpson at plus 2,000. And Brooks Koepka at plus 2,500. One of the hosts had to leave, T-Roy. He said he likes Brooks at plus 2,500. So I didn't know what to do here.
I'm going to have to go with Roy and Thomas. The reason why I say Thomas is because Thomas is one of those guys that you don't pay attention to, but then you look at the leaderboard and he's like second. You're like, what? Wait a minute. He's actually had a lot of top second place finishes. And a lot of people don't really look at the stats, but the stats are facts, right? So I'm going to definitely go with those two. Brooks Koepka, he's kind of fell off a little bit, I think. And, he had that surge. And then as soon as he had his surge, it was kind of like he started going down a little bit. So the other name, I don't see. I could be wrong. But I have.
Well, like you said, it's a game that humbles you. Not always the favorite's going to win, right? Yeah.
See, and now you understand where I'm coming from, right? So, yeah, that's who I would pick, hands down. Yeah.
During this quarantine thing, outside of putting on your little putting green that you got, how are you spending your time?
Mainly trying to just focus on getting myself together. I'm going back to school, and I'm looking to obviously get back into service, going back and working in law enforcement.
Really?
So I'm spending, yes sir, my education to get my EMT first responders cert. So I'm getting back in school. Obviously, trying to play golf when I can, and spending some time with some of the kids that need it via video because we can't really, be close. But that's what I try to spend my time doing most of the time. Pick up some books, try to read them, try to learn some literature as I go.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch any movies during the quarantine? Do you watch golf movies?
Hands down. I mean, Bagger Vance. Come on.
You're what?
Hands down. That's a Bagger Vance.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. What's the best golf movie out there then? And is Bagger Vance?
Bagger Vance. Hey, you know what? Bagger Vance. I mean, you can go with a couple Matt Damon and Will Smith. You never can fail with that. Caddyshack. I mean, where do I stop?
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, see, there you go, right there. You also got
Tin Cup.
Oh yeah.
Tin Cup.
The greatest game ever played.
The greatest game ever played.
Caddyshack 2.
Caddyshack 3. Caddyshack 4.
Where can we stop there, right?
I don't think anyone wants to recognize Caddyshack 2 though.
Right. But hey, but it's still there, and then obviously movies, John Wick, Avengers. You can never ever. I don't think Endgame will ever get old.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's always going to be like, I can't believe that Iron Man just died. Didn't you watch it like 10 times? I know, but he died. Though, right?
He dies every time you watch it, too.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
I know, man. It hurts, but something tells me he's coming back in some way. So, hey.
Yeah, you never know.
Let's be hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
So the new NBA format that's coming out, that they're going to be down at Disney World, looks like it's possibly going to hold up that the Celtics versus the 76ers in the first round, that's my favorite first round matchup, unless the Pelicans get in there as the 8 against the Lakers in the Western Conference first round matchup. I like the Celtics and the 76ers because of the history between the two. Are you excited for how this is going to work out for the NBA?
I'm not 100% excited. I wish it was a better way they could do it, but that's the only way they can do it, considering all the things that are going on. I am definitely excited about the NBA coming back. I mean, we definitely need sports, right? So, with that being said, I'm definitely looking forward to the season. It's going to be a good season, man. And I think, with them impressing, those exhibition games they're not as good as like the playoff games. So I really think the guys are going to get out there and really, really like bump heads. You know how it is when you go to a high school basketball game.
Mhm.
It's just the energy is just there. I really feel like that's what's coming with this.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a lot of load management when there's 8 games and then go straight to the playoffs.
No, not at all. Man.
I mean, we talked about the Milwaukee Bucks, and we're like, well, I think they could clinch the number 1 seed after 1 or 2 games. And it's like, what if they just sat out the next 6 games? But I highly doubt, because you have to get your legs underneath you to go into the playoffs.
Yeah, and then as many games that they're going to be playing, there's no way they're going to have the condition to keep up with that. You know, a lot of players are sitting down, eating on the couch, watching movies. Like,
Mhm.
you know, it's not much to do. So I'm really curious to see who's going to come back strong, too. You know, I'm hoping it's a good one.
So I forgot is there any questions out there?
No, everybody's just saying how they love this and so glad the Zoom call worked.
Yeah, this is seriously the first you got to understand. And Morris, I told you this, like when we talked on the phone, when we did this podcast, we started it in a bar, and then we learned how to do Facebook Live and then to take phone calls. Like we taught ourselves technology as it goes on. And this is another situation where like it is the easiest thing of just that my MacBook doesn't take an HDMI, it takes a converter, and it doesn't do sound. So we're using a colleague's MacBook, and that's all it is just an outdated thing. But we always are constantly tinkering. So it's funny because we have people on our Facebook comment thread that are just kind of like, yeah, we've seen this before. When you guys try to do something, it doesn't work out. That's why we were so excited. Like I said, you were our first one. We were so excited we get to do this because now we know in the future what we have to do and maybe upgrade my computer. I don't know, but what's the tour again that you're on?
It's called the APGA Tour.
Okay. And does that ever come up in this area?
Not for sure, but there are tournaments there that I am looking to get into.
Mhm.
Obviously, I still have family there, and I'm going to announce that I'm just going to see what the next 6 months is really going to be a huge determining factor. But it's looking like next year. If not, I definitely want to get up back home. Obviously, Iowa's my hometown,
Mhm.
so I'm looking to do that. That would be so awesome to be able to do. But the APGA Tour is really a tour for minorities that really don't get that opportunity to get out there on the PGA Tour. I mean, it's brutal. If you know golf, it's brutal. So I would love to play in the John Deere Classic. I mean, hands down. Come on now. But,
yeah.
Unfortunately, like you said, because of everything going on, they had to cancel that.
Yeah. On a serious topic, though, you mentioned getting into law enforcement. With the climate that things are going on, does that worry you at all about getting into any type of law enforcement, a pushback of like, a distrust that maybe we kind of have for society right now for law enforcement?
No, it's kind of like one bad apple will spoil a whole lot of bad apples.
Mhm.
In this case, I think that there definitely needs to be clarity with just in terms of law enforcement, because every single officer isn't a bad officer. I think you have bad apples out there, and they have to do a better job of vetting and weeding out guys who are in it for the wrong reason. And if you're in law enforcement to be an authoritative figure and use your power, you don't need to be there. And you generally can tell very quick those guys stand out like a sore thumb. Like, okay,
totally.
Well, some crimes don't fit the bill. Like if it's just a traffic stop, you don't need to yank that person out the car, slam them on the ground. If it's minor, I could see if they did something very, very dangerous, robbed a bank, harmed somebody, pulled a knife, a weapon. Totally different story. But I think that needs to be changed. And again, the reform definitely needs to have that vetting process that they can find guys who really want to protect and serve. And I want to protect and serve. I want to be right by and do right by, regardless if someone's watching me or not. And that is my spiel on it, because everybody in all lives should matter, period, no matter what. And that's my perspective of it, man. It's not enough of it. It's not enough of, hear what a person has to say, give that respect, and in return you get respect, right?
Yeah.
I think that's important, man.
I hope so.
And that's in what Leah just said. Is she said you hope so, and that's I think we talked to former Boston Celtic AC Earl. I mentioned it yesterday, and we talked about the same thing about the respect aspect of it. And maybe along the ways as we are educating all of us in certain ways, we also need to go back to educating about giving respect to those in authority instead of automatically expecting I only give respect if it's given to me, and respect for our elders. I think we're losing some of that as well.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And I think, you have to believe in something and stand for something that has to do with substance and stability and longevity. I mean, you earn trust, and you don't break something you earn, right?
Mhm.
So I think it's something that we have to really look at, and we have to be honest with ourselves. A lot of stuff that has happened seems to always just have this veil covered over it. It's there, but you don't say anything, right? It's time to speak up, and get it at the forefront so we can deal with the issues and change it. Because if we don't see a problem, then we can't fix what we don't understand is not broken, or it's broken, right?
Yes.
So we have to really look at that.
I 100% agree. And the one thing that you have to look at, and it's great that now it's more spoken than it has been before. I mean, never would this really be on ESPN at like 11:30 in the morning talking about race relations. It is now, but there are no sports, there are no movies to go to, there are no escape really, and now it's a matter of it's a perfect storm, if you will, for lack of a better term, that this is something to talk about, and athletes are coming out and saying like, hey, this is a problem, and it has been a problem, and we're not just going to a game, and we're not just throwing our jerseys, our warm-up jerseys in center of the court and saying like, that's our protest, and everyone being like, and it makes it for 35 seconds on Sports Center at 10 o'clock, and then it goes away because we have a game to cover. Now we're constantly covering it, and that's a great thing. And I think the major push that we've said over and over again is to just continue to educate yourselves. Instead of pointing the finger and calling people the problem, why don't you educate yourself and become more of the solution?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that statement, man. Let's not point out the issues. Let's point out the solutions and be proactive in making that be a factor. A lot of times you hear people, they complain about all this, and then when they get done, they don't do nothing about it. If you're going to complain about it, then you might as well have not said nothing in the first place. But if you're going to say, hey, here's an alternative, and here's a solution that's going to, see things through, right? It's the same thing, and I relate everything in life to golf, right? Like, you may not have that first shot be great, but it's about that second shot, and then it's that next shot. You always get at least 3 or 4 or 5 chances to make a difference.
Yeah,
I love that.
In golf and in life, it's somewhat the same way. So I think we definitely need to be proactive in making great solutions that's fair and just.
I find it wonderful that you want to be, part of the frontline helpers that are going on, is because of, even after all this and the climate and everything else. But more importantly, like I think this is awesome that we got to have this conversation. As much as I said when I started this, and I said at the show, and I told you on the phone also, as much as we can sit here and drag down social media and what's wrong with it, this is one of my favorite things when I get to have a conversation and meet someone like you, and it doesn't just have to be that our backgrounds are from the Quad City area. Oh, by the way, I want to tell you about Morris. Within like about the first 90 seconds when I explained to Morris that I'm from Bettendorf, he starts laughing, and I'm like, hey man, he's like, oh, Bettendorf. I'm like, listen, I'm not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Within like 90 seconds, I'm like, yeah, I'm from Bettendorf, and he's like, oh, Bettendorf. So no matter how many miles apart, we still have that Quad City background where we're laughing about things and talking and already talking trash, and we're just talking on the phone for the first time, and it makes me laugh, and that's what I appreciate the most about the Quad Cities and people where we're from, that we laugh, and I knew exactly where you're coming from when you said that. So
we just said that yesterday.
Yeah,
so, telling me to move to Bettendorf. I was like, nope. Yeah, I'm not moving to Bettendorf.
Awesome.
Yeah, Bombers from Moline.
Yeah. Illinois.
Moline. Yep.
Yeah.
East Moline.
No, Moline down by the library. But you know what? Illinois is going to HE double hockey sticks in a handbasket. So I'm about to jump ship and go over to your guys' side of the river. Get out of here.
Listen to her.
We got a couple questions on there. Can we go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Mikey Hart wants to know, what's the hardest hole outside Holy Moly?
What does that mean?
What's the
hardest hole? I think when you were playing or when you're on the show, maybe. I'm assuming.
I'm gonna have to say it was the porta potties, because
I saw somebody mention that.
I like straight up, like the porta potty. You had a lot of jokers in there. I mean, for crying out loud, you had a fly stopping me. Fly. Fly.
What was it?
Fly.
It was a what?
Fly. It was a fly. A fly.
Okay, so we got. Did you get to meet Rob Riggle, Joe Tessitore? Is that how you say that name?
Tessitore.
Tessitore and Steph Curry while on Holy Moly.
We didn't, due to just the filming and everything that was going on. We didn't get the opportunity. We definitely seen them, but we didn't get the opportunity to meet them, so to speak.
It'd be an opportunity to meet you. You got to look at it that way. He didn't get to meet me, not I didn't get to meet him.
Did they call you? I thought I saw on the comment thread on Facebook Live, someone said Mojo. Did they call you Mojo?
They call me Mojo. Yes.
Is that
they
your
do.
nickname?
Yeah. That's what they call me, Mojo, man.
No, did they call you that, or is that your nickname?
That is my nickname.
Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense. Good nickname. Yeah.
I like it.
My daughter's 10, and I coach her softball team, and we're kind of going over nicknames for the girls, and she doesn't understand like the last name and first name and putting them together type of thing. And she was like, "Well, why this?" And I was like, "It makes sense." And she's like, "No," and she's like, "No, I think you can call her like." Something Cupcake, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. So yeah, the Mojo makes sense to me.
But your son's nickname is Beef, so
well, because of Ben Easton Foster, okay. And then you put an E in there. Yeah, it's Beef.
I get that. Yeah. That makes sense to me.
Thanks. I appreciate that, Mojo. See, now we're on a nickname here. Yeah.
All day.
Listen, man, I don't want this to be the last time we talk at all. I'd love to do this again.
Please, man, I'm looking forward to it. A couple of things also I wanted to say, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
I want to go back. And this is some more to my side. As you guys see, this is called a Golf Thing. It's a Golf Thing clothing. This is one of my sponsors that came forward and sponsored me. He's on Instagram as well. And on my Instagram and social media, I'll have that information up. But another thing, too, is I do art. I went to school, and I didn't start drawing until my junior year in college. I had no idea that I could do this, but there's a art form called repoussé, and is the art of taking and chasing in metal. So what you saw me hold up just a few minutes ago,
from the Predators,
I literally draw that in metal, and I want to show this to you guys. Here's an owl that I actually drew. I know the lighting is probably
we can see it though. Yeah,
but it's an owl that I drew in metal. And what I try to do is just take some different things and put them in as much as I can.
I see that.
This is on my Facebook too.
Okay.
I express that because through art we learn a lot, right? And anybody trying to do anything in life, I don't care who you are, I don't care where you are. Never let anyone tell you or doubt yourself. If you want it, go after it. I know it might not seem like it's gonna come. It might not seem like it's gonna be there. You might even feel like you're gonna be 60-year-old person, man, woman, lady, child, son. But guess what? It will happen. I mean, I'm a living proof of living my dream right now. It may not seem like it. Everything ain't great, but guess what? It's mentality.
Yeah.
The stronger you are mentally, the better you are mentally. And if you got a problem, go to YouTube. They got inspirational videos all the time. You can listen to Will. You can listen to any one of those motivational speakers. Another guy I listen to very, very much so, David Goggins. If you don't know who that is, look at his book called You Can't Hurt Me. If you need some inspiration, go to Tim Grover, Relentless. Read these books. It'll do you so much good. So I say that to everyone, and I am so glad to be on here.
Yeah.
Anytime you need me, Jay Foster, I'm right there.
What's your Twitter handle?
Yeah, what's the handle on Instagram and Facebook that people can follow you?
So handle on Instagram is called Golf Jones Jr. Golf Jones Jr. on Instagram. And obviously you can go to Facebook. You'll see my professional page, Morris Jones, pro golfer. And follow me. I'll follow you back. Hey, anything that you guys want to ask, feel free. I'm all here, all ears.
Morris, you're awesome.
Yeah,
seriously,
fun.
It's a great story, and it's not just a story. It's your personality is fantastic, and I knew from the phone call right away. Like I messaged Izraez, who said like he was the one on Twitter that said you guys got to have Morris on, and I said like this guy is awesome. I'm so excited to have this interview today, and it's been fantastic. We just have to take a break to get some sponsors, so I'm going to let you go. But this is not going to be the last time we talk at all.
It's not.
No.
It's not, man. You got my number. You call me, man. You just let me know, and you know what? I'm your guy, man. I'm right there, man.
I love it. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And it's been awesome talking to you.
Nice to
and
meet
look
you.
forward to talking to you real soon.
Nice to meet you. We'll be talking soon. Let me know, man. God bless y'all out there.
Looking
Peace.
forward to it.
Right
Thank
on.
you.
Thank you. All right. Do you got something to read for me?
Sure. These are all confusing. The ones that Troy does. Let me tell you about Bayside Bistro in the village of East Davenport. Bayside Bistro is not your ordinary sandwich shop. You won't find deli meat on their menu. They use fresh ingredients and orders are made to order from scratch. From paninis like the Bayside Po' Boy to roasted green bean salad, Bayside Bistro has an incredible menu that specializes in deliciousness. And don't forget about their smoothies and fresh juices that they make and their incredible dinner entrees. Don't take our word for it, though. Go check out their Facebook page and read the over 500 recommendations from guests. Stop by Bayside Bistro today at 1105 Christie Street in the East Village of Davenport.
You like that? This is Bobby Metcalf from the Quad City Times, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
We will get our momentum back. Our business is back, our smiles back, ourselves back. Because that's what this community does. At First Midwest Bank, we want to thank our colleagues for doing everything they can to help our clients and our communities get through this. Because we are all in this together. And together, we will get our momentum back. First Midwest Bank. Visit firstmidwest.com. Member FDIC.
You're right on par in your M&M golf car.
M&M Golf Cars, your authorized Club Car dealer, invites you to check out the new Onward by Club Car. Onward's new all accessories personalize nearly every detail to fit your lifestyle. Customize yours at mmgolfcars.com. 0% financing for 48 months through the end of June. M&M Golf Cars, Bettendorf.
In your M&M golf car, M&M golf cars.
Golick and Wingo.
To me, I think the thing that really sealed it, I'm just thinking of it from a player standpoint, and Michael Jordan even said that, we deserve the respect or the chance to carry this thing on. And it's not like coming to the end of that season, you start to see outside of Jordan, some of these other players are older. They are dealing with injuries. You don't know how long this run could go. But it was at the beginning of the season where Jerry Krause said, you can go effing 82-0 and it doesn't matter.
Correct.
You're gone. I mean, before that season even started, he ended the dynasty before their sixth championship. I think that, and I think rightfully so, would rub a lot of players, especially the GOAT, the wrong way.
Well, he tried to end it after the fifth championship.
Yeah.
I mean, it took Jerry Reinsdorf basically going back to Phil Jackson, saying, what will it take to get this back for one last time? I mean, Jerry Krause was good to end it at 5.
Yeah, he was.
He didn't even want to try for 6.
Golick and Wingo. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader. ESPN 1170 AM.
A hailstorm is never good news for your home, especially your roof. Recent ping pong to golf ball sized hail hit the Quad Cities. This type of hail can cause catastrophic damage to your home's exterior. Even new roofs can be affected. Don't wait. Call All Major Restoration today. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, All Major will walk you through the entire process, from filing an insurance claim through construction. Call the experts at All Major Restoration for your free storm damage inspection. 563-322-0060. Se habla español.
Sí, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
In the history of this company, there's never been a more public liar than you. What are you doing to end phone conversations? Like, how are you ending them? You can't. It's not, I gotta go. No, you don't. Like, right. So you're ending these calls how?
There's always a way, Dan. Where there's a will, there is a way. So I will either tell them that, hey, I got to walk the dog. Hey, my mom is calling on the other line. Hey, my dad needs groceries. I got to go pick him up, and I got to take him up to his house.
You have an
do what you got to do.
Okay, so you have an assortment of lies.
I could send you like 2025, and we'll get you through a couple of days, and then when you need to refresh, I'll send you another 2025 if you need them, okay?
You can write a book during this pandemic, a helpful how to get off the phone for idiots.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Sensitivity, understanding, and a tradition of kindness and caring. It's so important when a family loses a loved one. Call on us, Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, for all your service needs. You have our single-minded attention to every detail. With a range of choices and services available, our professionalism, and our deepest sympathy. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, Rock Island, Milan, Reynolds, and the Knox Chapel.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KPOB, Davenport.
Welcome back. Don't Hassle So Local here on ESPN 1170 AM. I want to thank my man Mojo, our guy.
What a fun
Morris
nickname,
Jones
too.
Jr. Again, it's you have to thank people and listeners like Ezer A's, who just throws it out there. He watches. The cool thing about Ezer A's is that he watches Holy Moly every week with his daughter. That's their thing that they do.
Aw, okay.
So it's not like he's a huge golfer. It's not like he loves putt-putt. It's just one of those things. And
Right.
he saw it, and then, I think this might have been even 2 weeks ago, but, things happen, and it was just a matter of he was on Twitter, and I remembered what he said, and I'm like, all right, let's find the guy. Let's reach out to him, and
What a
you never
fun
know.
person.
You never know. Like, honestly, for every person that I've reached out to, that there's either been a no or ignoring me. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like no
Okay.
response. I've had 5 that are just fantastic, and you wouldn't believe it. And I'll tell you this, just to tell a story about the whole thing. Like, when we first had somebody on, when it was just a podcast in a bar, we had somebody that was more like in the media realm. All right, I was more. I thought we had just like basically embarrassed ourselves, and this guy had never wanted to be anything to do with us, and we shouldn't have even asked a media person. And it was a couple months before finally, and I will always give credit to WHBF Jay Kidwell, and I know you were here. I told the story just about 2 weeks ago. When I saw him at the gym, and I was just like, hey.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, come on, sure. And, I was like I said, you guys interview people all the time. I want to know who you follow, what teams you like how you got into this.
Yeah.
And when he was just leaving, he's like, you know what you should have on? You should have on Dan Vasco on. You should have Adam Rosso. I'm like, okay. And then it turned from, all right, I'll ask him, to, what are you guys doing on Sunday? Do you want to be on our Sunday night sports show? Like, okay. And that leads to Randazzo, and it leads to Kakert and everyone else, and those are the people that say yes.
Right.
Some people don't want to be on. Some people think like it's it's just it's beneath them or anything, and that's fine.
And some people are scared to do
Yeah.
it as well.
And then you have someone like that where you're just like, this is amazing. He said yes. I didn't know. I didn't even know like his following. I mean, I sent the message at like 7 o'clock in the morning, not knowing where he was.
He was up, being positive, starting the day.
He waited about an hour.
Probably already ran 10 miles.
Yeah, I don't even know. Is Nashville in the Central Standard Time Zone? I don't know. I was like, am I sending this too early? I have no idea. I didn't know where he was.
He's so happy.
And I love the fact that he moved from Davenport to about age 13, 13, 14, but he right away, he's like, I still call Davenport my home.
Yeah,
that's my home.
That's where he started.
And he deals with the same stuff all over that we do. That are you from Iowa?
Oh yeah.
Is there potatoes?
Yeah.
But his positive vibe is that's contagious as can be.
God, he's just so fun. I just again mesmerized. Like, wow.
He's
So
on
happy.
Instagram at Golf Jones Jr. He's on Twitter. We got to get him more Twitter followers. Mikey followed him. He was the 20th. I was the 21st, 22nd. We got to get more followers on Twitter. He has a fan page on Facebook as well, Morris Jones Jr. Golf, and he's also Morris Jones Jr. on Facebook. But we'll have all that on there because eventually we'll tag it and put it out there and all that stuff. So it's again, it was those are the type of things. And if it isn't for someone like Ezer A's, it'd be like, again, the joke has always been the show started with what you should do. That is the joke of everything, because no matter what in life you do, even Mojo, he puts out the art, and he does this, and here's this owl, here's this lion, here's this predator thing. That someone goes, what you should do? You should do a Memphis Grizzlies, and he's like, MFR, I just got done doing this. Can I take a break from my artwork and now you tell me what I should do? That's how the whole thing all starts in a joke. And so when someone gives you a suggestion, you got to run with it. Right. You got to be like, okay, maybe I'll do it, And you can't You can't just piss all over anyone's ideas. You just shouldn't. And I think
that's so many things going on. And he's going back to school, and he's
Oh, absolutely.
amazing.
He's moving and shaking. But I think that's probably one of my favorite things about the show is that we look at everything and you know what you should do, and we don't go.
Right.
You know what you should do?
No.
Start your own radio show. Like that's not it. We look at it and go. It's obviously someone listens to us. They think it will work into our forum, our the way we do things. And it's worth always talking to people, you know. And some people, it doesn't hurt to reach out. You know, we've had great people on. You know, Kyle's been on because he's reached out to us. Sioka is going to be back tomorrow. I've known him for a long time, and it's one of those things like, hey, I tell everybody this all the time. I went through so many no's to get to this point to be on here that I will, one, try to make everyone happy who said yes, and two, always give someone an opportunity who wants to try to do something.
Yeah, that's how you have to look at it too.
So
I love it.
Yeah,
and the worst thing, what's so bad about hearing the word no? I mean, we don't like the word no, but if that's the worst thing that can happen, do it.
You're gonna live a good life.
Yeah.
I will tell you this: I have found out that, and I truly believe this, the easiest word to say in the English language is no, because you don't have to follow up with anything.
Yeah.
As soon as you say yes, you got to do some work. You know, you got to. It's not just like, oh yeah. I mean, everyone's got to do it. Now you've got to show up and you've got to, be yourself on the show, and I've got to show up to, making sure I know who you are on the show and what you're going to bring to the table. If you have a bad interview, it's
going to haunt you for a little bit.
It's not going to go very well. So it's raining outside still.
Yep.
Yeah, that's too bad. Since we're talking about golf, though, I want to tell you about my friends at Hidden Hills Golf Course at 4335 Indiana Avenue in Bettendorf, just north of TBK Complex. Mike will be on the show tomorrow. We'll talk about putting together a DraftKings lineup for our golf. That's going to be the Charles Schwab. We'll talk to him out there. They're going to have all kinds of events coming up. Just go to hiddenhills-golf.com to check it out, or you can give them a call at 563-332-5616. Ask for Big Mike and ask what's going on there. They have season passes available going on. It's just one of those things. You get out, enjoy your time out there. Don't forget they have 4 bonus holes in a practice area as well. Mike will take care of you there. And anything coming up, you can go ahead and check them out again at hiddenhills-golf.com. Means there's not going to be any softball practice tonight, Bomber.
Nope, and it's going to rain all day long.
I think I've told people this a lot. I'm like a bracket nerd. You put a bracket in front of me.
I'm aware.
I'm definitely going to stare at it a long time. I'm going to overanalyze it. Yesterday, they put out the bracket for my daughter's 10U softball tournament. I've spent a collective over 2 hours staring at it for no reason.
You.
11 teams, is that it? I think that's in the tournament. Like, I shouldn't spend that much time stalking other teams on their Facebook pages to see what they're doing. I'm like the worst person in the world. Staying up, oh, okay, I like where this is at. And
Dad, what's wrong? You're sweating.
It was like a nice night out. I took the computer out, had a cocktail, although no porch light on, just me and a few mosquitoes around the computer screen. And I'm just staring at it and what are you doing out here? Like, nothing. Leave me alone.
Don't look at the screen.
Plotting to take over.
I know attention.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little obsessive there, Jay Foster.
Yeah, it's a little obsessive, I know.
But I mean, we all have our thing. So if the worst thing you're doing is sitting on your patio drinking and playing with brackets, I think you're doing all right.
Yeah, I think I'm doing all right. I think I got some. I want to talk about I do have to talk about our man, Paul, at Just Doors QC. But for some reason, I think I...
You always had it on the screen.
No, I didn't. I've had it before, but no, I have a written copy, but I think Mikey's right about Jay's going to be so pumped after that interview that I'm like,
yeah, you're all frazzled.
I'm not frazzled. Don't say
you're
that.
You're frazzled. But you got
anyway.
Bro crush.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys have heard before, but we're really happy to have sponsored Just Doors QC, and our man Paul Shelley is the guy to call at 309-657-8541. If you're looking at some things to do that's going to pay dividends for years to come, consider replacing your front door with a modern door. It adds immediate curb appeal, it increases in home value, and it can end that draft underneath during the winter months. And the return investment is more than how much it's going to cost, and to have it placed in. Yep. And they have a storm door special going on. You need a storm door.
I know I don't.
Through
I do.
June 21st, if you just $200 to install, you supply the storm door. Go to their Facebook page, just Doors QC. Take a look at their before and after pictures. They are fantastic. And look for the red ambulance truck that's going around. That's our man Paul at Just Doors QC, 309-657-8541. Now, Bomber.
Yes.
Before we, because we have to get in the other ads before the break. What else is going on? What else you got going on?
Nothing. I got in a fight with my neighbor last night.
Neighbor?
Yeah, I got in a fight for burning wood.
Oh.
For burning wood, and then I had to escort a gentleman out of my home. That was fun.
You put something on social media about that.
My friend came over. Well, then I had to Snapchat it because I want to embarrass you. If you're going to use bad words in front of my kids, and I tell you to stop and you don't, and then I tell you to stop one more time and you don't, and then I'm going to escort you out of my house. You're going to stand at the end of my driveway waiting for your Uber, and I'm going to take Snapchats and post it all over social media.
Ruthless. Ruthless. All right, well, we're going to take a break. We're going to do our commercials, and then obviously it's the end of the show. I want to thank everybody today. Troy for coming in, Hazel for joining us as well, our man Morris, Jones Jr., Mojo, who was on Holy Moly. Go back and watch the episode. It's episode 3, season 2. You can find that probably on anywhere that you're streaming, watching shows. It's ABC, Holy Moly. Tomorrow we'll have Jimmy Siokas in. Steve Manders, the one called Manders, is going to be in too. Former Iowa football player, now SCW pro wrestler, independent wrestler around the way. He's a great guy, great interview to have. Always a pleasure to have him in studio. And I think we're going to have Cakered in as well.
Okay.
So that's going to be fun because we get to talk more about the University of Iowa, and he's got more of the inside stuff that we don't. But you guys stay dry out there, Quad Cities. We will see you tomorrow. Enjoy yourselves.
This is WQAD's Matt Randazzo, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on ESPN 93.5.
We will get our momentum back. Our business is back, our smiles back, ourselves back. Because that's what this community does. At First Midwest Bank, we want to thank our colleagues for doing everything they can to help our clients and our communities get through this. Because we are all in this together. And together, we will get our momentum back. First Midwest Bank. Visit firstmidwest.com, member FDIC.
And now an old classic commercial from Mark Brenny.
This is Skip Tracer from the outdoor reality show Joe Bazillionaire. Joe, is it true that you inherited the state of Montana and have thousands of acres to play on, and you're here to find an ATV to spend the rest of your life with?
Well, that's why I'm here.
Here come the contestants now.
Ooh, the competition is